Ever walk into a factory and wonder, like, how do all those robotic arms move so precisely?
It really is something.
Or you see those construction cranes lifting tons of materials seemingly with air.
Right.
Well, what you're seeing is the power of pneumatics.
Yeah.
It's a technology that's honestly quietly driving countless industries.
It really is.
So today we are going deep, and I mean deep, into the world of the folks who make these systems work. Pneumatic systems
Yeah.
technicians.
These technicians, they're not just mechanics. I like to think of them as like pneumatic system whisperers, you
Oh,
know,
I love that.
troubleshooting, making sure those systems hum along like a well-oiled piston.
Okay, I see what you did there. Pneumatic system whispers, I like it. But what does that actually look like day to day?
Okay, so picture this, right? Huge factory floor, conveyor belts, robotic arms, all this automated equipment just whirring away.
Okay.
Pneumatic systems are the backbone of it all.
Oh, wow.
These technicians, they use their knowledge, physics, engineering, all of that to assemble, install, maintain these systems.
Wow.
Reading those complex blueprints, connecting tubes and valves, making sure everything's just so aligning with all those engineering specifications.
It's like the rule book, right? For how to build these systems.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow, that sounds challenging but also really rewarding. So, where would someone actually work doing this? Our sources mention factories, but also hinted at a bunch of other settings.
Oh, absolutely. You're right. Factories are huge, especially with, automation on the rise.
Yeah.
But think bigger. Construction sites, they use pneumatic tools, lifts.
All right.
Aerospace industry, they rely on pneumatics for landing gear, braking systems.
Oh, wow.
Even the medical field, they use pneumatics in equipment like ventilators.
I never would thought of the medical field. That's amazing. So, I mean, the demand for these technicians has got to be like through the roof.
You got it. Experts are predicting like a 15% increase in demand for pneumatic systems technicians over the next 10 years.
Wow.
It's a future-proof career if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
And for good reason. These industries, they need skilled pros who can keep things running, keep them efficient.
Totally. Okay, so we've got high demand, we've got a diverse range of industries, we've got the chance to work with really cool cutting edge tech. This almost sounds too good to be true. Are there downsides? What did our sources say?
Well, of course, of course. It's not all, smooth sailing. The work is rewarding, for sure,
Yeah.
but it is physically demanding. You're on your feet a lot, working with heavy equipment, sometimes in, like, awkward positions,
Yeah.
And depending on the industry, you might be exposed to hazardous materials.
Right.
So safety is, like, number one.
So not a job for someone who wants to sit at a desk all day.
Definitely not.
But for those who like to work with their hands, who like a challenge, I mean, it sounds really engaging.
Oh, yeah.
Our sources mention problem-solving skills being really important.
Uh-huh.
What did they mean by that?
Okay, so picture this, okay? You're on a factory floor, everything's humming, and then bam, robotic arm just stops.
Oh, no.
Mid-operation, production stops, everything comes to a standstill.
Wow.
You, as the pneumatic systems technician, you're the one they call.
All the pressure's on.
You got to think on your feet.
Yeah.
Use your knowledge. Figure out what's wrong.
Like a detective almost.
Exactly. It's like a puzzle, but like with real consequences.
Right, because time is money.
Exactly.
Okay, so what kind of puzzle are we talking about here? Give me an example.
Okay, it could be anything, right? Maybe a valve isn't regulating the air pressure right, or there's a leak somewhere, or a sensor's gone haywire.
Oh, wow.
You got to find the root cause, and fast, to get things moving again.
So what are some of the skills that make a good technician, in those high-pressure situations?
Well, mechanical aptitude, that's a given.
Right, like you gotta love figuring out how things work.
Exactly. If you enjoy taking things apart and putting them back together, that's a good sign.
Right.
But it's more than that. You have to know those engineering specs like the back of your hand.
Yeah.
Blueprints, diagrams, every symbol. Got to understand it all.
It's like its own language.
It is. And then there's critical thinking, because sometimes the problem isn't obvious.
Right.
You got to be able to think outside the box, adapt.
So you need like the hands of a mechanic, but also the mind of a detective.
And a bit of a surgeon's steady hand when you're working with those intricate systems.
It's a lot. So our sources also talked about career progression.
Yeah,
Can you walk us through what that might look like?
absolutely. Let's say you're just starting out, right? You're eager to learn.
Yeah.
You might begin as an apprentice, maybe assisting more experienced techs, learning the ropes.
Getting that hands-on experience.
Exactly. You're mastering those basic maintenance tasks.
So it's like an apprenticeship, working your way up.
Yeah, and as you gain experience, confidence, You move up, maybe to a junior technician,
Okay.
more responsibility. Maybe you get to mentor some new apprentices yourself.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Right. You're building your technical skills, but also communication, leadership, all that.
Sounds like there's always something new to learn.
Exactly. And then you reach that senior level.
What happens then?
Well, as a senior pneumatic systems technician, you're the expert, you know? You're leading projects, working with engineers.
Oh, wow.
You might even be training the next generation.
So you've gone from apprentice to, like, the master.
You got it. And you're not just fixing systems anymore. You're improving them, making them better.
That's so cool. You're, like, optimizing everything.
Yeah.
That is a really cool career path. Our sources from RoleCatcher mention some really helpful tools, especially for folks who want to get into this field.
Oh, yeah, those were interesting. They have this tool that analyzes your CV.
Really?
Yeah, it like highlights all your skills and experience, makes you stand out to employers.
Oh, that's smart.
And get this, they even have a database of potential interview questions.
No way.
So you can practice your answers beforehand.
It's like having a cheat sheet, but it's totally legit.
Exactly. It's like a secret weapon for your job search, you know,
It really is. RoleCatcher sounds like an amazing resource.
for sure.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about all these amazing skills these technicians have, but with all this new technology coming out, like automation and robotics, I have to wonder, how do you see the role of a pneumatic systems technician, like, changing in the future?
Oh, that's a great question. It's like anything, right? Technology kind of shakes things up.
Right.
As we get more and more automated systems, the technicians who keep them running, they're going to need to adapt.
So what skills, like what specific skills are we going to see in high demand for these, like, future technicians?
Well, for one, they'll need a deeper understanding of electronics,
Oh,
computer programming, that kind of thing.
makes sense.
Because a lot of these pneumatic systems are already hooked up to these really complex control systems, and that's only going to get, more common.
Right, right.
Imagine having to troubleshoot a problem where the pneumatic part's totally fine, but the software's the issue.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You got to speak both languages.
So it's almost like these technicians will have to be fluent in both the physical and the digital.
Exactly. And it's not just the technical stuff either. Problem solving, critical thinking, those are going to be more important than ever.
Right.
Because as these systems get more complex, more interconnected, being able to analyze data, spot patterns, think outside the box to find solutions, that's what's going to set people apart.
So it's really not just about, like, turning wrenches anymore.
Right?
These are highly skilled people who are always learning, always adapting to whatever's new.
That's what makes it so interesting. I mean, it's not for everyone, but if you've got that passion for tech, that problem-solving brain, and you love to learn new things, it's an amazing career path.
It sounds like being a pneumatic systems technician, it's like a passport to a future-proof career, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
They're the ones who keep the modern world running, from the factories making our stuff to the hospitals that keep us healthy.
Yeah,
It's a job with, like, a real impact.
yeah.
And as we've seen, the possibilities are huge.
Well said. Well, that feels like a good place to wrap things up, don't you think?
I think so.
For anyone listening who loves the idea of working with their hands, solving those meaty problems, being at the cutting edge of, like, really cool technology, this could be the perfect career.
Absolutely.
And if you're ready to take that leap, don't forget about those resources we mentioned from RoleCatcher.
Oh, yeah, those were great.
They've got the tools, they've got the advice to get you started.
For sure.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of pneumatic systems technicians. We hope you learned a lot, and maybe, just maybe, we've inspired a few future technicians out there.
That's what we like to hear.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, keep those gears turning.